What if I told you that an indie game made by a small team is outselling Call of Duty Black Ops 6 on Steam, the biggest game market in the world? That's right, on the day of its release, Rivals of Aether II was outselling and outcharting Call of Duty, which needs no introduction because it's one of the biggest game franchises in history. Before answering the question of how or why this is happening, let's first talk about what is Rivals of Aether II. Rivals of Aether II, or I'm just gonna call it Rivals for short, is a platform fighter similar to the likes of Super Smash Bros, Brawlhalla, and Multiversus. This genre of games shares similar mechanics with games such as Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, with a distinction between them being the fact that a platform fighting area is normally on floating platforms rather than solid ground. Rivals 2 is a sequel of Rivals 1, now with a mostly new team behind it and new publishing. Okay, so now that you know what Rivals is, let's talk about how in the world it's charting higher on Steam than Call of Duty Black Ops 6. A highly anticipated game in the franchise, many people even saying this one's actually gonna be good this time, guys. Rivals is published by Off-Brand Games, which is a department of Off-Brand, a creative agency and content studio in the YouTube and Twitch live streaming space. One of the founders of Off-Brand is YouTuber and streamer Ludwig, who has played a big role in promoting this game and making it more known to the masses. The main reason to why this game is so popular is because of their very efficient marketing. You see, most game studios have to spend thousands of dollars to promote and market their game, often taking away from the budget of the game itself. Rivals, on the other hand, is largely promoted by streamers and established content creators who already have an audience and a trusted voice. And I personally haven't seen anyone say they're sponsored by Rivals, so I assume most of these streamers are promoting it for free. Not to mention the founders of Off-Brand alongside Ludwig and people who work at Off-Brand Games are also big creators such as Stans and Pirate Software, have also been promoting this game a ton. Putting all this into consideration, I'd bet that they have a very small marketing budget compared to massive AAA corporations, making most of the resources go towards actually creating a good product, rather than trying to get as many eyeballs on it as possible. But even though this game is promoted very efficiently, Call of Duty's marketing budget is still ginormous, so it still dwarfs the smart promotion of Rivals 2. But then how is Rivals outselling and outcharting Call of Duty? Well, now we have to look at Call of Duty's track record over the years. They've been releasing underwhelming games for years now, naturally upsetting their fan bases.
Let's talk about Black Ops 6. Black Ops 6 right now. After playing it, after finding the prestige, and after playing quite a bit of matches, this game is f***ing dog. I told you guys, I'm gonna swear a little bit, so if you're around children, get them out of the room. If you're around elderly people that don't like hearing those type of words, tell them to get the f*** out. I don't care what you have to say. I'm gonna say this as it is, man. Call of Duty Black Ops 6, like I said, is f***ing dog.
In all fairness, I personally thought Black Ops 6 looked pretty good, but still, people just don't trust Call of Duty to deliver a good product anymore. On the other hand, if your favorite streamer promotes a game that they are personally passionate about and has a say in the development process, most people will be inclined to trust their favorite streamer and try the game out over a faceless corporation that has disappointed them for multiple years in a row. Now let's take a look at indie games in general, and answer the question, are indie games just having a renaissance in 2024? For years, quality indie games have been released by sole developers or small dev teams, but they can't really compete on the charts with the massive corporations that have seemingly unlimited resources to make a giant game. Small developers and publishers have given us classics such as Rust, Stardew Valley, Factorio, Rocket League, Terraria, Five Nights at Freddy's, Among Us, Undertale, and even Minecraft. And some of these games have evolved to have massive studios and publishers behind them, but people forget they were originally created by small teams such as Rust, Among Us, or Rocket League, or even made by solo developers such as Stardew Valley, Five Nights at Freddy's, and Minecraft. So of course there's that 1 in a million smash hit that becomes one of the biggest games of all time, or in Minecraft's case, the biggest game of all time. But for every indie game that succeeds, there are millions who don't. Because the video game space is brutal, and it's hard to compete against the big guys such as Sony Interactive Entertainment, Tencent, and Microsoft Gaming. A big similarity most indie games share is that they feel they have a soul, and the creator of the game truly cares about it. Many AAA titles are just made to generate as much money as possible, while indie games are made because the developers just love gaming and want to make a good game. They feel more pure and authentic, and players tend to gravitate towards games that were made with genuine appreciation to the craft after being disappointed by money-hungry studios. Now, it's not fair to say that developers of AAA titles are the problem here. Of course they're not. Developers of AAA games probably want to make a good product just like indie devs, but it's hard to do that with corporate overlords over your shoulder all the time. But indie games just don't have that problem, because everyone involved genuinely cares about the product. Let's tie that into Rivals 2. Ludwig, Nick Allen, and many other people at Off-Brand love platform fighters, most notably Super Smash Bros. Melee.
He's coming.
Oh my
I'm
God.
so nervous. He's looking at me.
Dude.
Do you have a water for him? Do you have a water for him?
I don't have a water for him.
Pour my water in your water so it looks like a full one. Quick.
Don't spill it on the... Damn it.
He's not looking.
There's water everywhere. Alright, quick. Is there enough? Oh, there's not enough, dude. Oh my...
Just squeeze the bottle and then close it. Squeeze it and close it.
You got it. Hey, what's up? What can I do for you?
And if you know anything about Melee, you know that it has a die-hard fan base, keeping the game alive for more than 20 years. It is no coincidence that Rivals shares a lot of similarities with Melee, that people behind the game just love Melee, and this game sort of serves as a spiritual successor to it. Again, this reiterates the fact that genuinely caring about what you're creating is important, and people see that and gravitate towards it. Okay, we've talked a great deal about indie games, but let's give you an example of some indie games that have absolutely blown up in 2024. Balatro, a roguelike card game that reminds you of poker and solitaire. This game is huge on Steam and recently came out on mobile and topped the charts. Hades 2, a roguelike action RPG which serves as a sequel to the very successful Hades. Palworld, an open survival game where you can enslave creatures to work and fight for you. Legally distinct from Pokemon, I guess Nintendo doesn't think so though. Despite its controversy, it's one of the biggest games of 2024. Another Crab's Treasure, a Souls-like where you play as a crab that takes place under the sea, which is not so secretly a commentary on pollution and the American tax system. Yes, you heard that right. Manor Lords, a chill medieval city builder with beautiful graphics. Those are just a few indie games that have gone very popular this year, but there are thousands of other games that you may not have heard of that are also awesome games. Indie games are having a resurgence in 2024, because AAA studios have been dropping the ball over and over again, and gamers just want to play good games, and there's never a shortage of indie games being developed. So to answer the question, how is Rivals of Aether II outselling Call of Duty? It's because Call of Duty has year after year been dropping subpar products and people are sick of it. While Rivals on the other hand is a game that is made by a team that genuinely loves and understands the genre, and has some very cost-efficient marketing. If you want to take something away from this video, support indie developers, and play whatever games you enjoy playing, whether that's a game that's made by one person or 10,000. The gaming industry needs to stop settling for mid games. It needs to support indie games more, and push big studios and publishers to do better. If you all do that, we will definitely have a better gaming space in the future. Drop some of your favorite indie games in the comments, put someone onto a masterpiece they may not know, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed, and that's it. See ya.